Hello, everyone.
Hi, everyone. Happy Friday. Happy middle of May. Hard to believe that Memorial Day weekend is in a little over a week, this upcoming Monday.
It is
And
crazy. Summer feels like it's here.
Yeah. Well, at least here in the Midwest, we're dealing with storms, so hopefully everyone that's in the Midwest is doing well. We were predicted to get some nasty stuff earlier this week, but thankfully got nothing.
Very thankful for that.
Yeah. And just as a update, we will be gone the next 2 weeks because we are going to be in Florida visiting family, dealing with some health issues, and so we will be back on Friday, June 6th. So we'll be gone for the next few weeks. I just wanted to, hey everyone, I just wanted to go over some deals. There are some new ones this week. YouTube TV is still at their $60 a month for the first 2 months. And that deal is available through the end of July, 10 days and 10 days for free. Fubo is still $20 off a month for Pro and Elite, making them $65 and $75 for the first month, respectively. DirecTV is currently offering $30 off for the first month on all of their plans. Sling is half off for the first month, and Peacock came out with a deal, I think it was yesterday or Wednesday. They are offering, so the ad-supported tier for $25 for a year. It's normally $80, and you have to use the code SPRING SAVINGS altogether in order to qualify. And that deal, it's available through the end of the month, through the 30th, when that's available through. And Tuesday is National Streaming Day, and so I would not be surprised to see some other deals come out on that. So,
yeah. Thanks, John, for running over the deals.
There's a lot to discuss this week, and we're gonna cover the ESPN app second. So
for all you non-sports fans out there, John wanted to give you that gift. So we're actually going to start. I'm going to cover some news that came out about Peacock. I'm going to go ahead and bring this up for you guys. Computer's running a little slow today. Sorry about that. So several weeks ago, we discussed issues around profitability for Peacock. And as a reminder, the service announced a loss of $215 million for the first quarter of this year, and this was against a loss of $639 million for the fourth quarter of last year. Even though Peacock added 5 million subscribers over the first quarter, which took them to about 41 million, increase of 14%, there's reason to be concerned about the platform. And if we were Peacock, we would be concerned because they have the lowest reach out of all the major streaming platforms. One area that we have thought would be important for Peacock to boost its subscribers in would be to develop more original content. And at the NBCU upfronts this week, the company showed that it might be starting to take that original content a little more seriously. So they announced new originals that include a spin-off of The Office called The Paper, which will star Oscar from that series. A new comedy starring Amy Poehler called The Dig, an unscripted twice-a-week show with Jimmy Fallon called On Brand with Jimmy Fallon, The Fall and Rise of Reggie Dinkins, which would star Tracy Morgan and Daniel Radcliffe, and then a live Wicked event special in November with Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande. In short, NBCU is spending money on big names and known commodities to try and prop up its service. But it's not just in the entertainment. They also have done that with sports. And they're going to have the Winter Olympics in February, the Super Bowl this year, or I guess in early...
All in February.
Yeah, all in February. Super Bowl, Winter Olympics, and the NBA All-Star Weekend. And NBC Universal said they're most excited about the NBA. And we thought this story was interesting, so we wanted to bring it out here for you guys. Excuse me, sorry, just wanting to get back to our screen here for you and make sure you guys can see this headline. So Michael Jordan is going to star
I'm excited about that.
Yeah, John's excited about that. He's going to be a special contributor for the NBA on NBC. And exactly what he'll be doing will be announced at a later date. They also announced they're going to return Round Ball Rock theme song. And they're going to have an exclusive Monday night game during the season with NBC and Peacock will present national coverage of regional doubleheader games on Tuesday nights. And in early next year, they're going to have Sunday night basketball. And that'll be significant because at the end of the NFL regular season, it will give NBA some more big sports content for Sunday nights.
You mean NBC?
Excuse me, yes, sorry. And lastly, Peacock will have an exclusive NFL game on Saturday, December 27th. And the hope for Peacock is really that its increased focus on entertainment content will pair well with its obvious focus on live sports. But it's going to be critical for them, like all the streaming apps, to keep subscribers that might come for the sports but then leave after. And even if the subscribers are staying subscribed, if they're not watching the platform, that's a problem. And that's been Peacock's problem. And this is all on the heels of Comcast announcing the official name for what it's spinning off. So that's the other thing we want to show you. It was being called SpinCo, but it's going to be called Versant, which is meant to emphasize its corporate versatility. And it's going to own the cable networks, USA, CNBC, MSNBC, Oxygen, E, Sci-Fi, and the Golf Channel. And it will house digital assets, Fandango, Rotten Tomatoes, Golf Now, Golf Pass, and Sports Engine. The remaining assets, NBC, Peacock, and Universal Studios, as well as the theme parks and Bravo, will stay with Comcast. So the plans for Versant are to spin out by the end of 2025. It will not have a streaming service. It's just a B2B thing. So all of this just begs a few questions. Is this enough? Is Peacock doing enough on its entertainment and original content to boost its subscriber and, importantly, keep them on the platform? And where will it go next for live sports? Could we see them do something with baseball?
So the next and really the biggest story of the week is ESPN. We've been waiting for months for more details on the DTC app, which they had been referring to as flagship. On Tuesday, we got the all-enthralling name of the app of ESPN. And I personally wonder how much in fees that they spent to focus groups to try and come up with this name. But I guess on one hand, it makes sense. Pricing, like anything Disney, has various levels, and that may make things less clear. So you've probably heard this already, but there's going to be two tiers for the app: Unlimited and Select. Unlimited will cost $30 a month and reportedly not have a free trial. Disney is offering a reduced rate of $300, so $25 a month if you sign up for the year. Also at launch, you can bundle it with ad-supported Disney Plus and Hulu for $30 monthly. However, at some point soon, that will increase to $36. And if you want the ad-free versions of Disney Plus and Hulu, that pricing goes up to $45. Unlimited will include content from all ESPN linear channels and ESPN Plus. That's ESPN, ESPN2, ESPNU, SEC Network, ACC Network, ESPN News, as well as ESPN on ABC Games. And digital platforms will include ESPN Plus, ESPN3, SECN Plus, and ACCNX. If you currently get any of those channels via cable, live TV streaming, or satellite, you will not lose access to those channels. And you'll also be able to access the app via login through your paid login credentials. They say Unlimited will have access to 47,000 events annually, on-demand replays, studio shows, original programming, and more. So that's the first tier. Select is what ESPN Plus is currently. It's still $12 a month or $120 annually, or you can bundle starting at $17 a month. Disney says that existing ESPN Plus subscribers will automatically become subscribers to the new service and get the ESPN Select plan. And Disney Plus, Hulu, ESPN Plus bundle subscribers will get the ESPN Select bundle. And fans with subscriptions to Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN bundles will be able to watch ESPN content within Disney Plus seamlessly alongside Disney and Hulu entertainment and family programming, they said. The company said that additional details, including technical aspects, launch dates, and more, will be coming later this summer. That's pricing is really all they touched on, and that it would be before football season. And a lot of people have been asking what's going to happen to ESPN Plus. Is that going to go away? They've not said. In true Disney fashion, as I mentioned, they're making things murky there with Select becoming ESPN Plus. So our thoughts are, we're not fans of the pricing, and this is coming from someone that would say that having access to ESPN is a need. Yes, it's within the price range that they have been saying all along. We would have been bigger fans at $20 or $25 a month. And the other thing to note is that this is Disney, so pricing will not stay at $30 or the $36 level. Once it goes up after the promo period, it will not stay at that $36. It will increase over time. The pricing is on purpose. It's to keep too many people from accessing their cable or live TV streaming, because Disney doesn't want to bite the hand that's feeding them. We'd love to see ABC included in it. Now that it does have ESPN on ABC Games, but ABC is out of ABC, CBS, and NBC. That's the one that does not offer access to its local channel in any of its apps. So while it may not fit on ESPN, it would certainly fit on Hulu, and we think that's an oversight. We don't think that this is going to be the death knell for Sling that we had first thought, and we actually have an updated Sling review coming out on Monday. But for only $16 more, you can switch back and forth between orange and blue, depending on if you want ESPN and ESPN2, or if you want Fox Sports 1. For other live services, it's going to be trickier because switching to ESPN to the app could save you at least $40 a month, if not closer to $50. But that also sacrifices all the entertainment, lifestyle, and news content. And we don't know I already mentioned that, but combining this with the soon-to-be released Fox One app, pricing on that, everything I've read seems to be in the $20 to $25 range. So you're looking at $50 to $60 a month. That's really, if you want the combination, that's really not a lot of savings at all whatsoever. And it won't offer you all sports. It has a lot of sports, but it doesn't have all of them. And I thought this was really interesting. It's a fairly long quote, but it's from an awful announcing article yesterday that was quoting an analyst from Lightshed Partners saying that they believe that this app is a Trojan horse. And they say, we believe the goal of launching the ESPN app DTC is to get existing cable and streaming subscribers who have access to ESPN, which is over 65 million subscribers, to watch the ESPN app instead of watching through their given service. Instead of like on Comcast or TV, YouTube TV, they will finally have a direct relationship with their viewers. This would allow them to understand what viewers watch, target advertising in a far more compelling way, and try to engage viewers beyond live games, whether that be highlights, merchandise, sports betting, fantasy, etc. In short, it makes the viewer that watches ESPN directly through them far more valuable than someone that watches them through a streaming service or cable or satellite, which is key since so many people get access to ESPN. So this really begs a question, who should get the ESPN service? It's two people, I think, really. One is the person or home that only subscribes to cable or a live TV streaming service just for ESPN. If you only subscribe for that and you don't care about the other channels, or you can get your locals from antenna, that's someone that should consider getting ESPN, because you're saving at least 40, if not $50+ a month currently. And the other person would be Disney Trio bundle subscribers who really want sports, because it isn't that steep of an upgrade to move to that. As for us, we're likely not going to be. I mean, we'll get it to test it out and do a review of it, but we likely will not be getting the service. We really only have a live service during football season. We will likely stick with Sling so we can switch back and forth, because that would provide some savings.
Got a couple of questions there in the chat, John.
Yeah.
So will you still get Disney and ESPN with Hulu Live TV?
Yes. They're not taking anything away, so it'll still be available through there. How that will be, the issue will be what happens with Fubo, if that merger, as it were, works out. I'm not sure how that will work out.
And then a good question, John, sort of similar. If you have Hulu Live, will you have access to ESPN Unlimited on Disney Plus?
I've not read on that. You would, so it's available to anyone that has ESPN as a part of their streaming cable or satellite
package. I think I did read that they said you would log into the app with your provider credentials. So whether or not they're going to make you do that with like credentials from Hulu Live, or if, to your point, if they'll just give it to you through Disney Plus platform, I'm not sure.
Yeah, and they've not, a good question on, do you know how many streams it will have, and will it have a DVR? They've not answered any of that yet. Any of those more technical details. They have said that it's going to be available, content's going to be available on demand. So I don't know if it'll allow users to record games or shows, or if they'll be available once the game's over. That's a great question. And
also makes me wonder if they're going to do something with like a multi-view, like YouTube TV has done. Yeah. Because that's obviously really popular for sports.
It is, and I'm not very incredibly hopeful, because Disney, in our experience, their technical aspects have not always worked, like in Hulu Live and such. So hopefully they can come out without any kinks, but yeah.
And Larry, you're correct there. If you have Spectrum, you would use those credentials to log into the ESPN app.
Yeah.
So they've said if you have it through your cable or satellite provider or live TV streaming service, you can also log into the app.
Right. So that's a lot there, and we're going to be having a video coming out. Even though we're going to be gone for the next couple of weeks, we're going to have some videos coming out. We're going to have one with more information on it as it comes out. As it comes out. So moving on to the next new app is Fox One. We've known for a couple of months that Fox had plans to launch its own DTC service. This is in the fallout of the failed joint sports venture venue. More details came out on the streaming app on Monday, notably the name and what's going to be largely what's going to be included. It's going to be called Fox One, and it'll be launched just before the beginning of the NFL season. There's no price set for the service yet, but everything seems to be pointing to $20 to $25 range. And Fox has come out and said they want to price it handsomely, basically, not at a deal.
Handsomely, winsomely.
Yeah. And so basically,
attractively.
So like Disney, they don't want people leaving their cable. This is for people who never had cable, is what they're saying. And per CNBC, while Murdoch didn't give specifics on pricing, he said during Monday's call it would be in line with so-called wholesale pricing, meaning it would be similar to the cost of the channels for paid TV distributors. Cable TV subscribers will get access to the service at no additional cost. Murdoch added that pricing, and this is the word I wanted, healthy. Healthy and not at a discounted price. So don't expect it to be available for under $20, in my opinion. There's no set channel list that's to be included. but Fox does say it will feature all of its entertainment, sports, and news content. That will be Fox News, Fox Business, Fox Weather, Fox Sports, FS1, FS2, the Big Ten Network, Fox Deportes, and local Fox stations. If you currently get any of these networks via cable, live TV streaming, or satellite, you will not lose access to those. You'll be able to access just like the ESPN app with your login credentials. Fox has indicated that they plan to be open to bundling opportunities.
And I'm sorry, John, did you say that they're going to launch it before the football season?
Before the football season. Murdoch said that he added many other streamers have already approached Fox about bundling, and that the company will, quote, will be moving forward with a number of those relationships, unquote. And this is really Fox's first foray into streaming. They have the Fox Nation app and Tubi, but this is its first direct-to-consumer offering. Sports and news are going to be the obvious draws for the app. Fox has NFL and college football games, plus Big Ten games. It also carries some Major League Baseball games and live golf events. And really, as we've discussed before, I think that beyond pricing, the real issue here is, are they going to begin pulling their content off of Hulu? And really, what will the pricing be? And again, like I mentioned during the ESPN one, you're looking at very likely a $50 to $55, $60 range by combining the two.
Yeah, which is why we would be just going with Sling and switching between the orange and blue plans, because as you all know, us being K-State fans, a lot of our games are on Fox, FS1, FS2, so we would really need both services, and it just doesn't make sense to pay for both of them. And I know that's something we've talked about. We hope people will be conscious of that and not just subscribe to everything and end up paying more than they need to.
Yeah, and Carlos brings up a great point. We really hope that T-Mobile and other cell carriers will offer deals for people, and it would really behoove both Disney and Fox to try and work out something like that.
Yeah, and just one other thought I had on this, as you know, we look at both of these streaming apps, is that the Trojan horse idea, this is something that has resulted, a lot of why these studios have created their own apps is so that they can control and have access to the user data and then sell that to advertisers. And it's resulted in not a great experience for us as streamers, because we have to sign up for all these services. And I think that's going to continue to be an issue, because we know they aren't going to like sharing each other's customer data, with anyone else. So anyway, well, we're going to leave the world of sports here for a minute and go back to entertainment. On Wednesday, Warner Brothers Discovery announced that what's old is new again, and that it is returning the name of its streaming app to HBO Max later this summer. And this is actually the fourth name change that the company has made in the last decade. Do you remember HBO Go? That was in 2008, and then it became HBO Now in 2015, then HBO Max in 2020, then just Max in 2023, and now back to HBO Max. So why is WBD doing this? Well, it's largely because they believe or feel that the HBO brand has become somewhat tarnished. And those are our words, not theirs. They said in this press release I have on screen that returning the HBO brand into HBO Max will further drive the service forward and amplify the uniqueness that subscribers can expect from the offering. It's also a testament to WBD's willingness to keep boldly iterating its strategy and approach, leaning heavily on consumer data and insights to best position itself for success. And if that's bold, then I think them and Disney are using the same consulting firm when they're coming up with their names. But that's just my opinion. Oops. Sorry, guys. I'm going to change the screen here, and it's not really responding. It largely comes down to WBD bloating the HBO app with lots of Discovery content. And WBD has found that a lot of what people are watching on the app are actually the HBO originals, like White Lotus, Last of Us, and then movies. And there's a New York Times article that brought this point up. So it said, Warner Brothers Discovery executives also discovered over the last 2 years that much of Discovery's content was not being watched. Original programs tended to do best on the service, as did new Warner Brothers movies, licensed A24 films, and documentaries. Some Discovery content, particularly from its ID cable network, did well, but everything else, food, lifestyle, and other reality series from Discovery, went relatively unwatched and untouched. So in short, WBD has realized they don't need to be Netflix. HBO needs to be who they are, which is a service known for producing high quality content. And Netflix really is the place for that many people think of when they want a wide array of content. And Alex Sherman also had a tweet that we wanted to show. So he said, I want to emphasize a point here. When AT&T invented HBO Max, the point behind the name was that HBO was too small and it needed to compete with Netflix. And now WBD is returning to HBO Max because it doesn't want to compete with Netflix, emphasizing quantity over quality. Excuse me, they want to emphasize quality over quantity. So, a common question we receive is Discovery Plus going to continue to stay within the now HBO Max ecosystem? There's been no indication that it's going to be pulled, but given that WBD is seeing Discovery content not perform well, it makes us wonder if they'll pull much of it, or maybe if they're going to redesign the app to put primary focus on HBO content. And given the reason for going back to the HBO Max name, it very well might be a sign that that's coming. We know that it's spinning off most of its linear channels to a separate company. It's been reportedly in the talks, and really as regular users of Max, we would prefer there to be less clutter in that platform anyway. And I actually like some of the Discovery content, but I agree that I think HBO gets lost in it. So aside from debranding, though, things are going well for the service. It's now finally profitable. It added 5 million subscribers in the first quarter of this year, which took them to 122 million worldwide. And their goal by the end of next year is to have 150 million subscribers worldwide. So there's also no price increases announced, just the name change.
Yet.
It last increased its price for its ad-free tiers in June of last year.
Yeah, great question. Thank you, Nicole. Do you think Hulu and Disney will fully merge by football season? I don't see it happening with them rolling out the ESPN app. I would foresee it happening soon after that. Knowing Disney's technical issues, challenges that they've dealt with in the past, I don't see it happening by then, but I could obviously be incorrect on that. And speaking of football season, just some quick updates on NFL updates with the scheduling release this past week. NFL and YouTube have agreed for YouTube to carry the first Friday night game of the season on September 5th. It's a game played in Brazil with the Chargers, between the Chargers and the Chiefs. YouTube has said that they will make the game available to everyone worldwide, and is sure to be an avenue for them to heavily promote YouTube NFL Sunday Ticket and to grow the international following of the NFL, which I can't remember how many international games are going to have this year. It's 6 to 10, I know, in that range. The game will not be available in Canada, where they have an existing streaming deal with Bell Canada, and reportedly the game will be produced by NBC. Viewers can access the game globally via NFL Plus, NFL Game Pass, or DAZN. And per Mary Ellen Coe, Chief Business Officer at YouTube, she says streaming the Friday night game to fans for free the world will mark YouTube's first time as a live NFL broadcaster. And will do it in a way that only YouTube can, with an interactive viewing experience and creators right at the center of the experience. The game will also be available free over the air in LA and Kansas City markets if you don't want to watch it on YouTube. Other games of note will be Eagles Bears on Black Friday on Prime Video, Chiefs Broncos is on Christmas evening on Prime Video as well. And another interesting note that came out this week about the NFL, because we've spoken a lot about how we think the NFL is trying to have their fingers in as many pies as possible. The NFL's chief media and business officer, Brian Rolap, had an interview with Wall Street Journal, and it was pretty insightful and provided a glimpse into the thinking of the NFL relative to spreading the games out, most notably opting out of its right deal at the end of the 29 season. And this exchange really stood out. And Wall Street Journal says the NFL has an option to exit its current media deals after the 29 season. Do you anticipate that one of the Sunday broadcast packages could migrate to streaming? He answers, Rolap, I don't know what the future looks like, but I think where we will start is where our fans are spending the majority of their time. We're going to pick our partners based on their ability to promote our game, produce quality telecasts, and achieve reach. It would surprise me if they don't try and opt out after the Paramount deal, to be quite honest. We think it's fair to expect the league to seriously consider opting out. And the remaining part of the interview didn't spell that out, but it did make clear that the NFL is trying to grow as large as possible, spread itself out as much as possible. Our question is, will it be able to walk the tightrope that they're creating? And so I remember when baseball was it, and NFL has taken over that. And yes, Cowboys and the Commies face off on Christmas, and my Cowboys also get the Chiefs on Thanksgiving. And as I told Nicole, the NFL must just really want to upset families on major holidays, because I'm not very confident of either of those games. So yeah.
Sorry, just wanted to show you guys those international games to further the point about how they're really trying to grow that way.
Yeah.
So we have one more story just to cover super quick here, and it's about Netflix, and just wanted to cover it because you guys might start seeing this when you log into Netflix. This was announced last week that Netflix is in the midst of rolling out a major update to its homepage, beginning on Monday, the 19th, and it's expected to take several weeks. It's rolling. I guess they're showing it to you here on this page. The last time that Netflix updated its homepage was actually 2013, so it's been a long time. And the company is calling it, quote, the new Netflix. The purpose of the change is supposed to make it easier for you to find what you want to watch. And these are the key highlights that you can expect. They're going to move the navigation from the left side of the screen to the top. Real-time recommendations of what to watch, which will be based on your viewing and browsing history. There'll be a My Netflix hub that seems like it's going to be a mashup of the current Continue Watching and the My List areas that are currently on the homepage. And then finally, detailed information about each title. And Netflix says within the new interface, you can discover, quote, what makes each title worth the watch before you commit to pressing play, which is a good idea given how we were discussing they have so much content there. I think they really want to try to have people avoid just scrolling endlessly and then giving up before they find something to watch. So you would be able to preview a title's synopsis, runtime, award wins, top 10 history, key cast all up front while you browse. And per get you to our screen here, per NBC, Netflix also plans to roll out a generative AI search tool for mobile that will allow users to ask Netflix for recommendations using more conversational language, such as I want to watch something funny and upbeat. And changes will only take effect on TV screens. You won't see that on your phone. but they do say 70% of their users watch Netflix on TV screens. And the impact could be twofold. Many streaming services have largely copied the formula that Netflix has used for 12 years on its homepage. And it is also locked into a battle with YouTube for streaming TV time. And it's also reported that Netflix is planning on testing a vertical feed for mobile users that will be more TikTok style. So just be aware, you may see those changes the next time you log into Netflix. You can always let us know what you think of it in community.
Yeah, and it's several weeks, I think they said it's going to take to roll out.
Yeah.
And so starting Monday. So it'll be interesting to see what it really looks like in action. So that was a lot of news to cover. And yes, Larry, the Chiefs are trying to become America's team.
They are, and they need to stop.
Yes, they do.
Why can't the Chargers be America's team?
Because they're the Chargers. But just as a reminder, we will not be live streaming for the next 2 weeks as we'll be out of town visiting family. We will be back on Friday, June 6th, I believe it is. And don't forget to be on the lookout for deals on Tuesday for National Streaming Day. If anything comes out, I'll make sure to post that in the community so y'all are aware of it and get some savings if you're looking for a new service.
Yep, and since it's a little early, but since we'll be off, happy Memorial Day to everyone.
Yes.
And we'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Yep. Have a great weekend, everyone.
Bye.